Last night, the Chiefs finally hit the field for their first preseason game of the year, and even though it ended in a loss to the Arizona Cardinals, this one had plenty of early fireworks. The scoreboard didn't matter here, what really counted were the plays, the moments, and yes, even the lessons learned. From the very first snap, linebacker Jack Cochran set the tone by forcing a fumble on the opening kickoff. That ball bounced our way, thanks to Chris Roland Wallace, who was all over the place in this one. In fact, Roland Wallace wasn't done. Later in the game, he picked off an overthrow, giving him both a fumble recovery and an interception in his preseason debut. That's how you make coaches take notice in August. Safety Jaden Hicks got in on the action too, jumping Kyler Murray's eyes for an interception that looked almost too easy. Hicks did have one missed tackle that hurt, a 43-yard touchdown by Arizona, but outside of that, he was laying hits, making tackles, and breaking up passes. Those are the kind of all-around contributions you love to see from a young player. But as exciting as those defensive highlights were, the night also delivered some gut punches. Veteran safety Deion Bush went down awkwardly with a non-contact injury, and the moment he grabbed his leg, you knew it wasn't good. Even Patrick Mahomes came out to take a knee beside him. The news afterward confirmed the worst. Bush tore his Achilles and will miss the entire season. That's a tough break for a guy who likely would have been on the practice squad, and it puts a dent in our safety depth. Jalen Watson also left the game after a hit to the head, ending up in concussion protocol. Thankfully, it doesn't sound as season-ending as Bush's injury, but it was still a reminder that in the preseason, every snap carries real risk. So yeah, the opening quarter gave us plenty to talk about. Some guys shot their stock up with big plays, while others were dealt a much harsher hand. But that's preseason football. Every rep matters, and every moment can change a player's year. Who do you think made the biggest impact in that first quarter? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you're ready for a season full of breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000 and every single one counts. If the first quarter belonged to the defensive playmakers, the rest of the night showed us exactly why depth battles matter in August. You could feel it, guys. Fighting for roster spots, flying around on defense, and making sure their name shows up on film. Let's start with Jeffrey Boza. He might not have the name recognition of some of the starters, but in this game, he looked like he belonged. Whether it was shedding blocks or getting in the backfield, Boza brought energy every single snap. Then you've got cornerback Josh Williams. He had a couple of textbook pass breakups that reminded you exactly why the Chiefs value his size and length on the outside. It wasn't all perfect, though. Nazi Johnson had what you could call a roller coaster night. On one hand, he made a really nice play breaking up a pass in the end zone. On the other hand, he gave up a few catches you'd like to see him close down. These are the kinds of games where one good rep can stick in a coach's mind, but so can one bad one. Don't sleep on Noel Williams either. The rookie corner came in and played with confidence, sticking to his man and making solid tackles. He's still raw, but the potential is there, and you can see him getting more comfortable every week in camp. Special teams also made their presence felt. Matt Araiza, yes, the punt god himself absolutely boomed a couple of punts that flipped the field. It's been a long road for him, but if he keeps hitting the ball like that, the Chiefs will have a tough decision to make. And how about Harrison Butker? He drilled a long-range field goal that looked like it could have been good from 5 yards. Further back. Preseason might be all about the quarterback battles and the headlines, but nights like this remind you, games are won with full rosters. Depth matters. Special teams matter. And if you're paying attention now, you'll know the names that might just save a game come November. Stock up or stock down for Nazi Johnson after this game? Let's hear it in the comments. And if you believe our special teams could be a weapon this year, hit that like button. It really helps get these videos out to more Chiefs fans. Now let's talk offense, because while the defense and special teams had their moments, this game also gave us a first taste of how the Chiefs' attack is shaping up for 2025. Right out of the gate, Patrick Mahomes looked like, well, Patrick Mahomes. Smooth pocket movement, quick reads, and that zip on the ball we all know and love. The opening drive had fans thinking, yep, he's in mid-season form already. Isaiah Pacheco picked up where he left off last year, decisive, physical, and running like every carry is a grudge match. He didn't get a huge workload, but he made the most of every touch. Kareem Hunt, back in the red and gold, showed flashes too. His burst through the hole looked sharp, and you could tell he's motivated to make an impact in his second stint with Kansas City. One of the biggest offensive highlights came from Jason Brownlee, who hauled in a touchdown pass that was all about concentration and strong hands. The throw was on target, but Brownlee still had to fight through contact to bring it in, the kind of play that sticks in a coach's mind when the roster decisions roll around. And then there's Tyquan Thornton. He's got speed for days, and he used it to stretch the field on a couple of big catches. If he can stay consistent, he might just carve out a role as the Chiefs' deep threat. Elijah Badger also got in on the action, surprising everyone with a key first down conversion on a route that showed great awareness. Tight end Robert Tonyan made his case as well, reliable hands, good blocking, and the kind of veteran poise you want behind Travis Kelce. The one downside for the offense? Penalties. A couple of drives stalled because of pre-snap mistakes and unnecessary holds. It's preseason, so you expect some sloppiness, but that's an area the coaching staff will want cleaned up fast. So I'll put it to you, which receiver impressed you most in this game, Brownlee, Thornton, or Badger? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see who the fan base is backing. If there's one thing preseason football does well, it's sparking position battles, and this game gave us plenty to watch in the quarterback room. Behind Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are clearly still figuring out who's going to lock down that QB2 role. First up, Chris Oladipo. This was a big opportunity for him, and he made sure to leave an impression. Oladipo showed poise in the pocket, moved well when things broke down, and delivered some sharp throws into tight windows. His highlight came on a beautiful touchdown pass that looked every bit like a starter's throw, perfectly placed, with just enough zip to beat the coverage. He did take a couple of sacks, but that was more about protection breakdowns than bad decision-making. Then there's Sam Hartman. If you're into confidence and energy, Hartman brought it in spades. He pushed the ball downfield, tested the defense, and played like a guy who knows this might be his only shot to climb the depth chart. The flip side? He also had a few rookie moments, missing a red here, forcing a ball there, but in terms of raw arm talent, he's got something worth developing. Ian Book also got some reps late, but it's hard to fairly judge him given the situation. By the time he came in, the offensive line was a patchwork, and the playbook was pretty stripped down. Still, he moved the ball a bit and avoided any major mistakes, which is really all you can ask for in that scenario. What's fascinating here is that the Chiefs aren't just looking for a backup who can run the offense, they're looking for someone who can keep the ship afloat if Mahomes misses time. That's a heavy responsibility, and based on this game alone, Oladipo might have nudged ahead. But Hartman's upside keeps things interesting. If the QB battle stays this close, the next two preseason games are going to be must-watch for fans who care about depth. And if you're reading this far into a preseason breakdown, you definitely care about depth. So tell me, if you had to name QB2 today, who's getting your vote? Oladipo, Hartman, or Book? Every preseason game wraps with a bigger picture, and while this one had plenty of individual highlights, the real story is how these moments fit into the Chiefs' 2025 journey. On defense, the night proved one thing: the competition is fierce, and roster spots will be earned, not given. Young guys like Chris Roland Wallace and Jaden Hicks showed they're not just camp bodies, they're playmakers. Even with the sting of Deion Bush's season-ending injury, the secondary still flashed depth, and that's a good sign heading into the regular season. Special teams? Solid. Ariza's booming punts and Butker's steady leg are the kind of hidden weapons you don't think about until you need them in a playoff game. Field position wins championships just as much as big offensive plays. Offensively, Mahomes was Mahomes, but this game wasn't about proving that. It was about finding out who's going to make his life easier when the real games start. Brownlee's touchdown catch, Thornton's speed, and Badger's clutch grab all added wrinkles to an already loaded playbook. Kareem Hunt's return to Arrowhead also deserves a nod. His mix of power and vision fits perfectly in this offense. Then there's the quarterback depth battle. If Week 1 had to be played tomorrow, Chris Oladikin might be your QB2, but Sam Hartman made it clear he's not going to fade quietly. That storyline alone is going to keep fans glued to the preseason. The biggest takeaway? This team's floor is higher than most because the next man up mentality isn't just a saying here, it's real. From special teams to the last guy on the depth chart, players are stepping in and making an impact. That doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl, but it does mean this roster is built to handle the grind of a long season. So here's my challenge to you: go back, watch the game again, and don't just follow the ball. Watch the sideline hustle, the backup battles, the special teams coverage. That's where you see the future of the team being built one rep at a time. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown series, make sure to subscribe, we're just getting started.